Hello there, my name is George Klichnik and I am with the support group. And today I want to show you a new application available for the iPad and iPhone called Workflow. Workflow was acquired this March by Apple, and it's a pretty cool automation app which allows you to create widgets for things that you frequently do, program them in a very simple interface, and create a launch button to just do regular tasks that you would do with your iPhone. Now you may ask, what does that have to do with FileMaker? Well, it happens to be that Workflow enables us to create a little widget that we can end up with an icon on the desktop of the iPad and iPhone that will launch your FileMaker files, something that I'm surprised FileMaker doesn't do natively. So just go to the App Store, do a search for Workflow and download it. It's a free app. And once it's downloaded, open it right up. You will see that we have already here created one, so I'm just going to go and delete what I have, and we're going to start from scratch. So once you have this open, it's worthwhile taking a look at the gallery. You can scroll around. They've got a bunch of pre-made little applets that you can open up and see how they're constructed, and it's pretty neat. But right now we're just going to jump straight to the FileMaker relevant portion. So when we're in the Workflows area, just tap Create Workflow, and you're going to get the little workspace here. Now, I would suggest you start with what's called the Today widget. You could do this as a normal widget, but I'll show you why at the end of this demo. So tap on Today widget, and then on the left-hand side, scroll to the very bottom, and you see there it says URL. Drag that over into the workspace. Now, once you drag that in, this is a text entry field. It pulls up on the left side relevant actions that can go with that. So you see there early on you have open URLs. Now you want to drag that over to the right. And you'll see when I let go, it makes a connection between the two of them. There's a real faint line there. And what this does is it's going to take whatever is in that text box and feed it down into the URL. Now, this can be something that pops up and asks you for a URL, and then you open it. But what we're going to do here is we're going to populate it with our FileMaker opener. So I've happened to have already copied it, and we're now going to paste it in. So what you want to do in your URL is type in fmp://, then the address of your server, followed by a slash, and then the name of your file. Now, don't forget, in the name of the file, you want to make sure that any spaces that are there, you replace like this with the %20. Can't quite highlight that, but you get what I'm talking about. You always have to replace spaces with that code, or just leave spaces out of the names. Once you've got that set up, you could do a quick test by hitting the play button, and it's going to run this workflow. So it launches your FileMaker, and there you go. There's the opening page of the database I created for this demo. So go ahead and close that out and switch back to Workflow. Now, there's a little gear icon on the top right. This is the part where we're going to do our settings for our opener widget. So you want to name the workflow here by clearing that out and putting in whatever name you want. We're going to call this TSG Workflow. And then you want to click on the icon. The first thing you're going to do is set up a color and a glyph for the icon. So this is what you would see in other areas. As I said, I'll show you in a moment, but let's just set up something. We're going to stay with the blue, which is a nice TSG color. And then in the glyphs, you can kind of select whatever you want. Typical little icons for different kinds of objects and people. They've given you a whole bunch of stuff that's kind of cool. For us, it's not so relevant right now. So we're just going to pick any old thing. Let's pick this goofy guy here. Now, tap on Home Screen, and what you can do here is you can design an icon, a custom icon that you want for your app as a square, and then just save it into your photo library. And as long as you allow access from Workflow to the photo library, you can tap Select Photo, pulls it up. You see there I've got in my camera roll our TSG icon. Here you can move and scale it if you wish. And as you can see, that's just a square, and it's going to cut it nice into the rounded corners like any other icon on the iPad and iPhone. So here you hit done, and you've got all your settings ready to go. So now we just want to tap Add to Home Screen, and what it does is it creates a text file on your in your browser, which is the same type of file that would normally download those icons from websites that are used to make the home screen. So you can follow the instructions here. You're going to tap on the right here, then move it over and just say Add to Home Screen. And here we get all our text that we want to have as the title. Now, one thing I want to mention, when you're finished with this, it's important to come back to Safari and close out this tab. I found with mine that if I wait till later, at some point this file gets cleared, and when I open Safari and come back to this tab, it just freezes and locks it up. So I ended up having to force quit it, and even once had to restart the iPad. So that's just a little warning. So tap Add, and as you can see, there's the icon. I'm going to real quick switch to Safari, close that tab, and go back. Now you've got that beautiful icon. Tap it. It's going to give you a nice splash screen with the icon quick. It flows through workflows and jumps straight into FileMaker. And there you go. You've got a custom launcher for your iPad. Another really cool thing is you can also share these. So we click Done, open up that workflow, and in the settings, you can see here, there we go, we have Share Workflow. Tap that, and you can send that workflow to anybody as long as they've got the workflow app, and it will launch. So if you've got a company that you want to have those custom launcher files, you can distribute them away. Now, if you remember, I said to do it as a Today widget, and let me show you why. Is you swipe down on your iPad or your iPhone, you always get your daily rundown there. But if you swipe right, you can see the two dots at the bottom. You've got a possibility to have your widgets. And you'll see there that I've got there at the very top workflow with my TSG workflow widget. So you can even do it not from your desktop, just with a swipe down of the screen from the lock screen or an open place, and you have your workflows there. And what you do to get that, you tap here on your Edit button, and that widget would be somewhere down here in the More Widgets area. Just so you'd scroll to the bottom, find Workflow, and tap the little plus sign. And then it gets added to the top here where you have them. You can move it to the left column or the right column. You can reorder them by sliding them up and down. I put it at the very top. And once you do that, your workflow shows up right there. And just by tapping the icon, there you go. You launch your database. So no more opening up and trying to type in URLs that nobody remembers and looking and hoping that it's in your recents file. So I hope that was a helpful tip. Enjoy.